if you're writing a series, should you make sure that you're putting the number of the book within the context of the series on the cover of the book? And the simple answer is yeah. Why wouldn't you do that? That is the most confusing thing for readers if they are trying to figure out where to start in a series, if they are trying to figure out what placement that book is, if they're buying the right or the wrong one, if they're going to buy the entire series. They need that information. You need to make it as simple for them to say, yes, this is the book I want. Yes, this is the book I need as possible. Because if you give them work to do, if they have to do homework to figure out where that book falls in the series, they're not going to take the time and effort to do that. And if they are, they're coming into it with a very frustrated opinion of you and of your series. So it's important to make sure you have this in multiple locations on the book to make it as easy as possible. The first one is on the front cover. Have the number of the book there. You can write the number 2, you can write out TWO, you can do something fancy. It doesn't matter as long as it's very clearly understood that this is the 2nd, the 3rd, the 5th, the 16th book in a series. Have it on the cover, make it very easy for us to understand. Then you also need to have it on the spine because most people have books spine out on the shelves, be it a bookshelf in a store, a library, or in your own personal collection. Most books are not cover out. They're going to be spine out. They need to be very easily understood from the spine that it's book 2, book 3, book 5, book 8, whatever it happens to be. Make it simple. Also have it on your title page. Also have it inside of your book. And if you're a good person who really wants to make this easy on everybody, have the list of the books in order inside of your books. I understand when you print book 1, you probably don't know the title for book 2 or 3 or even how long the series might be. I get it. But as you're building, add them in. And if you're doing newer editions of these books, if you're updating back matter or anything, update it to have a list of the books in there. Now, you sometimes see people saying, oh, well, this book is coming July of and year. Sometimes that works and sometimes that doesn't. I used to do that because that was something that was told to me to do. And then I would see that things would not come out at the right time or the same time or things were different. I saw a lot of people putting in one date and then their publisher would change things or their schedule would change or they wouldn't get it done or their editor wouldn't get things done in time. And it was just not something that I would recommend doing. So I would just recommend having those titles in there without those specific dates for release or for launch, just because the longevity of it. Let's just think about it. If I pick up a series that maybe it's completed, maybe it's not completed yet, but I see that the book was the next book in the series or a couple of those books were released 4, 5, 7 years ago. Now we've just very strongly dated this book. Even though the copyright is very clearly distinguished in the book, we can see what year it was published. Having the coming in summer of 2013, and here we are in 2024, that makes us pause just a little bit. So skip the dates, but have that written somewhere in the book so people can see very easily in the front and the back of the book how many books are going to be here, how many books are out, what the titles are, what the order is, so that we can very easily determine what's going on inside of this series. The more places you can put this, the front cover, the back cover, the spine, the wherever, no less than the front cover and the spine. Always have it on the front cover and the spine, but if you can get it on the back cover too, highly recommend. Put it where people are going to be able to easily see it and understand what book this is. Because if we're walking into a bookstore or a library or wherever and we see the series that we've been reading or we started reading or we might want to read and we pick up a book but we're not sure it's book 1 or we're not sure it's the next book in this series, that makes it really, really hard. And if somebody else is making it easier for us to say yes to their book, we're probably going to side with their book. So just make it as easy as possible. Work it into your design. Make it pretty. Make it something unique. Make it whatever you want it to make it. You can form a logo around it or a specific design that everybody's always looking for that version to know what book number it's going to be there, but just get it on there. Even if it's just at the top, book 1. Even if it has nothing to do with the rest of the design, make it easy. And make it in the same place on every single book. Especially in the spine. Because if you have one number up here and one number down here, one number in the middle, that's just a design flaw, and we're not going to have too much of a discussion on that one in this particular episode, but keep it in the same place. Make it very easy, make it very uniform, make it simple for people to say yes to. And if you're putting out a bunch of different books and you just want people to keep reading and reading and reading all of your books, streamline your process. Have the numbers and the information in the same location on your spines, no matter how you're designing it. So you would always have like book 1, book 2 up at the top, your title in the middle, and your author name down at the bottom, whatever it happens to be. Streamline the process for yourself, for your designer, for all of your readers. The entire thing can be as simple as you make it. There's no need to overthink this. So get those words, whether you are doing digits, so 1, 2, 3, or you are writing out the words 1, 2, 3. Get them on there somewhere so that people can easily tell what order the series belongs in, so that they can order them on their shelves properly, so they can buy them in the proper order, so they can read them in the proper order without having to think it through and do the homework and Google things and try to figure it out. Because I personally have been there trying to figure out what books are in what order in some series that I wanted to read. And it is frustrating when it is not easily accessed and easily available to readers. So make it as simple as possible, so that will help your sales and your conversion rate. Drop your questions down below and follow along for more tips and tricks on how you can level up in publishing to make this your best author year ever, so that you can live your best life while also living out your author dreams. We'll see you in the upcoming episodes.